Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this one, I have for you my Week 9 Challenges Guide for Season 6, featuring the locations of the Carnival Clown games, the secret star for this week, the secret loading screen star, as well as tips for all of the other challenges, including the get 30 seconds of airtime, and also the stage challenges. But yeah guys, before we get into that, I have an awesome new announcement for hitting 1 million subscribers. I'm launching some limited edition merch. That's right guys, it's the gold foil print, the 1 million print, that is only available for a limited time. And we've got a sweatshirt version and a long sleeve version, and I think they turned out amazing. And on top of that, we got a couple of other things like mugs and also phone cases if you want to check those out. And those specifically aren't limited edition. It's the 2 gold foil print ones that are limited edition, so be sure to check those out while you can. I will leave a link down below in the description and also the pinned comment to the shop. So yeah, and again guys, thank you so much for 1 million subscribers. Got some other things planned as well coming up. But yeah guys, getting back into this video, if you find it helpful, be sure to hit that like button down below. It always helps me out so much. And on top of that, be sure to comment what tier, or more specifically level, you guys are at. I'm sure a lot of you are getting close to tier 100, so I'm curious to see what level you guys have reached so far. But yeah guys, without further ado here, let's jump into it with the quick overview of the challenges we're going to be covering in this video. And as always, we got to cover the secret loading screen star, and this week it is a star, which is pretty interesting, so some free XP there. But then getting into it with the challenges themselves, I'm of course going to show you the fastest way to get 30 seconds of airtime in a vehicle, as well as grenade or rocket launcher eliminations, more so the best way to find those items, the locations of the different Carnival Clown Boards that you need to get a score of 10 on, also consume mushrooms and probably shield stages, I would assume, show you the best way to find items like that, deal damage to opponent structures with dynamite, deal grenade damage to opponents, as well as deal damage to opponents with a clinger grenade or stink bomb. So a lot of damage challenges, and again, I'll show you the fastest way to find these items and stuff, so that you guys can get these challenges done as quickly as possible and get closer to unlocking that fully unlocked dire. So yeah guys, without further ado here, let's jump into it with the first challenge I want to go over in this video, and that is the consume mushrooms plus probably shield stages. So the main part about this is how to find shields, just in case that is the extra stages for this one. I haven't quite had time to explore those other stages, but if it's similar to the apple stages that were from last week, that one made you get a bunch of items that had to do with healing your health. I would assume these would have to do with shields, but either way, if it is a different item, this should still apply. But first of all, with the mushrooms, obviously the best way to do that is to go somewhere like Wailing Woods, maybe Shifty Shafts, or also Dusty Divot. All of those places have a ton of mushrooms. You can just land there in really any game mode, grab 5 mushrooms, and you'll have that first stage done. Then if the other stages are mini shields or big shields, right now the best way for sure to find shields is to go into food fight. Now the reason for that is because of the supply drops that spawn close to the beginning. As you can see in this little video right here, they do spawn fairly close to when the actual timer for the storm starts to count down. So if you go towards the circle when those airdrops are coming in, you should probably be able to get a few of them. And then as you can see here, when you open those supply drops, a lot of the time they contain shields and stuff like that, so that'll help you get this challenge done pretty easily. But then after that guys, moving on to the next challenge I want to talk about. This one is actually the secret star for this week, and as always guys, yes, this one is a star, so it's more than likely that next week will be a banner. And then we'll also have to figure out if completing all of these loading screens gets you something special, like these secret loading screen challenges specifically. But yeah, we know the exact location of the star. The loading screen has been posted online a bunch, so I've seen it going around on Twitter and Reddit and stuff, so it's pretty easy to find the location of the star itself. So specifically, before we get into that, as always guys, you do need to complete this week's challenges before the star even shows up on the map. On top of that, as we've said before, there is a rumor that you need to complete the previous week's challenges. I don't believe you need to complete the loading screen challenges, but it's possible that you may need to, go into the weekly challenges themselves and complete those for the previous weeks before the week 9 one will show up. But again, I'm not 100% sure about that yet. But yeah, getting back into it with this one, the location that you want to go to is right in the center of the map, the place that Kevin turned into, this beautiful area. Now specifically where you want to go in there, this is actually similar to a previous week, but instead you want to find this grill right here. Now when you get there, the star should show up on top of it, I'm pretty sure. If for some reason it doesn't, as always, check the pinned comment down below just in case for some reason it changes, but more than likely the star should show up right around this grill right here. So simply go up to it, grab it, and then make sure you complete the game. I believe you can't simply click leave match, so either get eliminated or win the match, and then you will have this secret star done. And also guys, if you missed one of my previous videos, there is actually a way for you to keep track of the different loading screen challenges that you've completed. You simply go into the hunting party challenges and take a look at the check marks. The ones that have a green glow around them are the ones that you've already found, so you can use that to help you know which ones you still have to get, and then you can check out my previous week challenges guides for the star and banner locations. And then after that guys, you have the get 30 seconds of airtime in a vehicle. Now this one is pretty straightforward, but I have an amazing amazing way to get this done, like in the fastest way possible. And honestly, I kind of love these challenges. So basically, in order to get it done, you first of all want to go into any game mode. It doesn't really matter. Maybe if you're doing some other challenges as well and like doubling up, you can just do that one. But yeah, once you're in one of those game modes, the place I would recommend going to is Greasy Grove. This is kind of similar to last week, but you simply land at Greasy Grove, grab one of the quad crashers that is out front. There's also one inside of the center building there. But once you're on one of those, you want to simply head over to the corrupted zone that is directly to the east of Greasy Grove. Now, the reason that you want to go there is because once you're up top, you can use these like launch things to obviously launch you into the air on your quad crasher. Now, obviously, that's not the only thing you want to do. Once you get launched into the air and you're at about like the highest point that it launches you to, you want to pull back a bit and use your boost to fly up into the air. If you get a good angle, you can stay in the air for like at least 9 seconds if you do it well. But either way, you can just keep redoing that and you should be able to get this one done pretty easily. After that then though, we have to talk about the challenge that has to do with the brand new item that is included in the game, the dynamite. So this one specifically is deal damage to opponent structures with dynamite, and that is a total of 10,000 damage, which seems like a lot at first, but it's actually really not that much. The dynamite itself does like 800 damage to structures, and I'm not 100% sure if like a structure has lower health than that. Like I think the wooden walls have like 300 health. I'm not sure if it still does like 800 damage to that and then it counts towards the challenge, but either way, that shouldn't really be a big issue because the dynamite does do so much damage to structures. And again, it does have to be an opponent structure. You can't just go into a game and place stuff down. It has to be an enemy that places the structure down. Now, the best way to find dynamite, and that is sort of like the tough part about this challenge in the first place, is actually finding the item. I would say that the best way to do it is in the new Wild West mode. I mean, this game mode is practically made for the Wild West themed items, and dynamite fits in with that perfectly. So when you go into this game mode, you can find dynamite in chests, I believe floor loot, and then enemies carry them a bunch too, so you should be able to get them fairly easily. Now then, once you have a few of them, what you want to do is you don't even have to like run into enemies. You can go around the map and find structures that you didn't place and throw some dynamite at them to get that damage done. And again, it really shouldn't take that much, so you should be able to have this one done fairly quick. And on top of that, if you happen to find dynamite in like food fight, you could just go to the other team's base, throw a couple in there, and you'll get this one done no problem. But keeping it going here, guys, with the next challenge I want to go over. This is the sort of similar challenge, but it's deal grenade damage to opponents, and it is a stage challenge. Now, I'm pretty sure this one would probably move on to stages like other weapons similar to that, like maybe, I don't know, a grenade launcher. So if that is the case, you know, they're pretty straightforward, but the trick to them is, you know, finding the items in the first place. So with that being said, this one specifically, this is the tough part. Unfortunately, you cannot do food fight. At least I'm pretty sure they said that explosives are not in this mode, so that kind of makes it a little bit tough. You would have been able to like find them in the supply drops, and that would have made this one super easy, but unfortunately you cannot find them there, and also you cannot find them in Wild West, so you're pretty much going to have to do it in the normal mode. So if you want to do solo, duo, squads, it's totally up to you. You're going to have to go through it and pretty much just play normally until you find these items, and then you're going to have to use the items to try and get some eliminations. And there is sort of an easy way to do it, but that kind of leads me into the next challenge here, which is the grenade or rocket launcher eliminations, and you need a total of 3 of those. But again, the trick to that is actually finding the items themselves. And again, like we just went over, you cannot do this in food fight or Wild West because I don't even think you can find the items in those. So the other thing that I can recommend when you're doing like squads or duos is to, one, of course, find one of these items so you can actually get the challenge done. But then something else you can do is to actually like knock somebody down with your AR or something else that you're more comfortable with, and then you can like box them in and use that rocket or grenade launcher in order to eliminate them. As long as you are the person to knock them down, whatever you eliminate them with will count towards that challenge, so that can be an easy way to do it if you're having a tough time. But yeah, guys, moving on here to the next challenge I want to go over. This is probably the most important one of this week, the get a score of 10 at different Carnival Clown games. Now, before we get into this one, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I post these guides every single week to show you guys like some of the fastest way to get these challenges done. So if you don't want to miss those, the best way to know about them is to hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But yeah, the Carnival Clown games, basically how you do these is they are these little like mini games. They're similar to like the clay pigeons from last week, similar to those ones where you have to find them on the map, activate them, then get a score on them. So yeah, I've got 5 locations to show you here, but as you can see, this is exactly how they work. But yeah, you simply go up to it, you activate it, and then these balloons start to pop up around the board, and you simply go around pickaxing those until you get to 10, and then you can just let one balloon, you know, pop, and that'll count your score right there. It's honestly pretty simple to do. The only tough part is, you know, finding them. But don't worry, guys, I have got 5 locations to show you, and this first of which bush right here that I've been showing you is right next to the RV park that's to the east of Retail Row. So this is a very good one to go after. Nobody's really ever at this area, so it's a good one to start out with. But on top of that, and also credit to TimSat on Reddit and also Niden1723 on Twitter for finding 2 of these. But another location you can check out is to the south of this one. It's sort of near Paradise Palms. It's to the west of Paradise Palms. At the bridge right here, as you can see, it's off to the side next to this wall, sort of on the more grassy area, not the more desert area. So that's a good one to check out as well. On top of that, you can keep going south, sort of more west. In between Flush Factory and Lucky Landing, there's this house right here, and there's one of these games next to it under a tree. So that one's probably going to be pretty quiet as well. But if you want to check out some other ones, you can also do one near the Quad Crasher course up near Junk Junction. It's right near the start. And if you still need one more on top of that, you can check out the one in Pleasant Park right next to the football field. This one, however, is probably going to be a little bit more busy just because it's in the middle of a named location. So yeah, guys, those are the 5 locations that I'm aware of, but it's plenty to get them done. Again, you only need to get a score of 10 at 3 of these locations. So get into a game mode like solo and get that done. And moving on here to the final challenge I want to talk about in this video. This is the one where you have to deal damage with stink bombs, clingers, or grenades. And honestly, guys, this one's pretty straightforward, so I don't have a ton of tips for you, except maybe to try and do it with the other stage challenge, because if you use a grenade for this one, the other challenge requires you to get 100 damage with it. So it's kind of like knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. Also on top of that, I would probably avoid using the stink bombs simply because those only deal like 5 damage, I think a second, maybe a half second, not 100% sure, but it'll take a while to get 300 damage with those. So I would stick to the other 2. And especially when you're just playing normally, you just pick up a bunch of clingers, and clingers are honestly pretty great to do this with. And also you could get that damage on players that are knocked down. Since it has to do with damage, you don't have to be the person to knock them, so it is a bit easier. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. On top of that, be sure to check out some of my previous videos, such as on the left, going over a bunch of changes in the recent updates, such as a Season 7 secret, and then of course my Week 8 challenges guide on the right. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.